Hi, and welcome along to AFTV. It's time to preview the game Arsenal versus Liverpool, and got to get the guys from Redmen, Chris here, Chris Pajak from Redmen TV, of course, on Liverpool channel. And Chris, first of all, I've got to say to you, because I've been kind of busy and I've been doing a lot of things, and I've just not got around to it yet to say congratulations.
Thank you, mate. Thank you very much, Robbie. You know, it's funny because, I've not been an adult when Liverpool have won the league. You'll remember, Arsenal winning the league and stuff. People come up to you and tell you, well done, like you've done something yourself, don't they? I've had so many people come up to me and go like, well done, mate. And I'm like, thanks, mate. Yeah, it was really good year this year for us. Like I did anything to do with it. Like, did you get that? Do you get that? Like, I know.
I remember. I mean, it's a long time ago, so I'm kind of forgetting how they used to. But you did. You used to get people going, "Oh, mate, well done."
It's like, yeah.
But it does really make you feel proud of your team when you've won the league, and you guys have won it in style. I've got to say, I mean, I'm glad that the season came back and you were able to win it for real instead of what it was probably would have been, which would have been handed to you, which would have meant that people like me would be saying, nah, they didn't really win it and stuff like that. You've won it, right? And you've won it by a distance. So congratulations for that. Of course, you're going to be coming down to our place on Wednesday. Now, I know that the next mission of Liverpool, you can't do the invincible thing.
Okay. Yeah, we know. That happened before lockdown. You were all Watford fans. In fact, Arsenal fans were everywhere when we were still unbeaten. And the amount of Arsenal fans that I saw just loving Watford, like loving it.
I've got to be real, yeah, I loved it as well.
I know you did.
You got to understand, yeah, that's all we got left.
I know.
That's all we got left now, right? Yeah, but we haven't won the Champions League, but we have gone the season unbeaten, and that's a very, very difficult thing to do, as you guys found out. And that's all we got left. So it kind of made us glad that, you didn't rival that. But what you can do is you can beat Man City's 100 points. Now, I know you had a bit of a setback against Burnley, but if you was to beat us, well, you got 3 games left. You win those 3, you get 101 points, right?
102, I think. Or maybe it is 101, actually, yeah. Maybe it's 101, yeah. Mate, I stopped looking at the league in February, Robbie. Like, that's how long ago we won the league. God. Don't come and tell me, like, you know what I mean? Like, we were like 20 points ahead, mate. I stopped looking, man.
Oh, my God. Man.
It's probably...
You got 93 points.
So, yeah, 102, 3 games to go. Oh, God, that was right. See, there you go.
So, if you lost the game, though, you can no longer get the 100 points.
This is true.
So if you won the game, if you drew the game, you can only
match it. 2 wins and a draw matches it.
Yeah.
So now we've got Arsenal, Chelsea, and Newcastle.
Yeah.
So 3 hard games, really, in their own way.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you think that that's going to be a motivating factor for your guys, that when they come to Arsenal, that's motivating them, that 102 points record?
I'm not sure, Robbie, is the honest answer, mate. I think, Klopp and obviously the players, they all want the points record, but Klopp's sides have suggested that he's maybe not taking it as seriously as you'd think. When we were, when we hadn't won the league, we weren't changing our starting 11. And then all of a sudden, City go and lose to Chelsea, and we make 3 changes at the weekend. We made 3 or 4 changes midweek. That's not very Klopp, not this season. Now, of course, I think he wants it, of course, but I think he also recognises that we're not going to have it this easy next season. So he's trying to blood a little bit of youth where he can in Nico Williams and Curtis Jones, and he's maybe just taking a look at players in slightly different roles or positions to just see about next season, because he's got to. I think, Manchester United are playing well at the moment. Chelsea are looking good and they've spent a load of money. City won't be as poor as they've been this season. I think he's got one eye on next season as well as the points record. So, look, here's the thing, and to bring it back to the Invincibles, Robbie, I always said I didn't think Liverpool would go invincible because I think it's bloody difficult to do. You know, for starters, it depends where you are in other competitions. Because if the league's done and dusted and you're still in the Champions League, the Champions League's going to take precedence. And even when you've got the league tied up, there's a drop off. So for the Invincibles, the best thing they did was probably the 3 or 4 games after they'd won the league, not losing. That was probably the hardest thing that they did, to keep that focus up. But they were fighting for something that had never been done before. We were only going to be fighting for something to match somebody else. It's not like you were fighting for history, like full stop. But like nobody had ever done that. It's very hard to then tell aside that, you know, you can. The points record, I think, is something that we could go for, but it's just bloody strange, isn't it, with the pandemic and everything, mate?
Yeah. Do you reckon then Klopp will play a strong team then? Because
I do this time.
You don't think he'll play a lot of kids in this game? You think this will be?
No, I think he goes full strength against us. I think there's, for me, he has made, like, Nico Williams played left back 2 games ago, and then he played right back. And we've seen Curtis Jones start in the middle of the park last game. I think he's looked at it and gone, I'll make sure that I've got my first team available for this game. Made a few changes. Arsenal, full strength. 7-day break. Chelsea, full strength. So I think that's what you're coming up against. I think you'll see Naby Keita probably in the midfield with Wijnaldum and Fabinho. The back five's the back 5, and the front 3's the front 3.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to me to see what we actually do, because the funny thing about it is that obviously, especially with that news coming through about Man City, now we know it's just only top 4, right? So that means, I mean, even top 5 we had no chance after losing to Spurs, but top 4. Absolutely no chance, I feel, of getting that. So that's out. We've got a slight outside chance of the Europa League, which I've got to say, not all of our fans want. You know what I mean? A lot of our fans want to be out of Europe next season. But we've got a slight chance of making that. But you still got, you know, Sheffield United doing well. You still got Wolves and all those teams, right? So that's Leicester as well. That's in doubt that we could get even that. The one thing that we can still do is, despite a really poor season, is win an FA Cup, which we've done that before. We've had poor seasons and then ended up winning an FA Cup that makes it look half decent. And we got Man City at the weekend, which we've got a terrible record against. But the last time we won the FA Cup, we beat City in the semi-final and Chelsea in the final, and nobody gave us a prayer of those. So I'm just wondering if Arteta's going to say to himself, you know what? Maybe I might rest a couple for this. Although it's going to be difficult, we've got a lot of injuries. But I don't know. It's going to be really interesting to see what Arsenal team. I'm not 100% sure we will go full strength in that game, because he might have an eye on that City game, and players like Aubameyang, obviously, very, very important that he's fit, especially now that Eddie Nketiah is out injured. He's out suspended. So the lineups are going to be interesting. Very, very interesting from Arsenal. Obviously, if we defend like how we did against Spurs, we'll get annihilated by you lot.
Well, you played well against Spurs, apart from the obvious.
Really?
I mean, you played all right against Spurs, didn't you? Apart from the obvious. Like, as far as the game went, you know, it was at not at White Hart Lane. It was at the Tottenham Pissing Hotspur Stadium or whatever it's called nowadays, wasn't it? Like that. I thought you did. Apart from the,
we played. We funny enough, I thought we played well. It was just a horrible defending in that game. We've also had some, you know, the first half against Leicester, I thought we were unreal. We played really, really good. Should have won. Should have been out of sight. And then obviously we went to Wolves, beat them 2-0. Very difficult place to go to. We beat them. We went to Sheffield United. We beat them. So it's been very mixed since we've come back. But that team does have the capability of turning it on. But it's just, for me, it's going to be really interesting to see what the team selection is going to be. Especially because I just don't think now in the league it means anything to us. I mean, the only thing we can do is stop you from getting that 100 points. or 102 points. Now, is that a motivation for Mikel Arteta? I don't think so. I think he'll be more focused on.
Do you know that
maybe our fans would like that, but I think the man is going to be more focused on. But then there's also the thing of he doesn't want to go into that game on the back of a hiding from Liverpool against City as well. Especially want to bounce back from that Tottenham game. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be different. I wish it would have been earlier on in the season that we played you, or before the lockdown or something like that. But yeah, it's going to be.
You got your ass handed to you before the lockdown, Robbie. Like we were playing some football before the lockdown.
No,
like,
we've always been pretty decent against you at home.
Emirates has been a tough place.
Yeah. You hand it to us when we go to Anfield, but at the Emirates, you don't really beat us at the Emirates, do you?
No, it's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So it would have been interesting.
The thing we were talking about in our build-up show today is we were unsure whether Arteta, because he wants to put in a style of football, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And you know exactly what style of football he wants. He wants possession based, and he doesn't have the players to enact his style of football at present. Certainly at the back, anyway. No. But so then we're thinking, if he tanks the next few games, is he under a bit of pressure? But is it still worth him trying to just keep doing what he's doing? Because he could probably have the conversation in his head where he's gone, like, these lads aren't good enough to play the football that I want at the back, but I need to keep playing this way so that next season, when I get a few of the lads that can do this, we've got a fighting chance. So that and we're just like, because Ancelotti's the same. Paul was saying, actually, Ancelotti's the same. He hasn't got the players to play the way he wants at Everton, but he's still forcing them to probably play that way because it'll benefit them long term.
I personally don't think that Mikel Arteta wants to play with three at the back, with three centre halves. I don't think he wants to play that. I think he's forced to play that because of the personnel that we've got. They're not good enough, and so he knows that. So, and then we've also got injuries to Pablo Mari, who he bought him, who left-footed. I think he wanted him to sort of maybe probably partner Luis, and once he got injured, he's just settled on this three at the back because that's just getting the best out of the players that we've got. Luis plays better in a three, but I don't think that's how he wants to play. I think he'd like to play probably like a 4-3 with, with midfield creating a lot. So I think he's kind of being forced into it. And I do think that I don't think he'll be under pressure if he loses these games. I think the fans understand where we are. It's a bit like where you guys were when Klopp came in. We know where we are right now. There's no, we've got a decent, a very good attacking team. We've got quality players up front that can hurt teams, but we can't defend. So you saw with Spurs, they just had a strategy of just hanging in the game. Arsenal will give you a chance, and that's all they did. So I think I don't think these are games where he's going to be under pressure. I do feel that and I think if anything, he'll want to make a good impression against Liverpool. Because every time he goes out there and makes a good impression in a game, the fans sort of, when he pulled off that win against Wolves and Sheffield United, the fans are like, well, normally we go to Wolves, we get done. We go to Sheffield United, we get done. So I think he'd be really looking to put in a positive performance. But again, it's going to be what the team is going to be. That's going to be the really interesting thing, because at this moment in time, I really can't call it. Is he going to rest players with the City game in mind on Saturday, or is he going to really want to put in a statement against Liverpool? It's going to be really interesting to see. But what do you think the score's going to be?
I think Liverpool are going to beat you by 3-0.
Jeez.
Now, I've been predicting, we always do predictions, don't we, on our shows anyway. And I've been predicting really close games for a while now. I think I had Burnley as 1-0 when the lads were going like 4s and 5s. But I've just got a feeling that actually the crowd gets a lot of stick at the Emirates. And sometimes I think,
not in those games. The crowd are behind him. That's the thing about the Emirates, is that the crowd deservedly gets stick when they're playing teams like Burnley and that, because they're just like, right, you lot get out there and do something for us or we won't do nothing. But when it's those games, Liverpool, Man United, Chelsea, Tottenham, they're up for it. Yeah. So it will be a big miss.
I think that helps us and actually might just let us kick on and do something at the Emirates we've not really done before. Now that, we've got to play better than we have been. We didn't take our chances. To be honest, the big thing for Liverpool is I don't think we really look match sharp. I don't think we've come back and, we're taking, I think we had about 25 shots, and fair play. Pope had a great game against us, but we weren't hitting the corners of the goal. We've just not really been on it yet since the restart. And, I think we'll need to up our game if we're going to beat you 3-0. But I do fancy Liverpool strikers against your defenders. And I fancy any striker against your defenders, unfortunately, for you guys.
Yeah, the defenders are shocking. But I think I'm going for a draw. We've had a decent record against you at our place. Up until that Tottenham game, we was on a bit of form as well. And even in that game, there was some good... I know the defence is the worry, but I've just got a sneaky feeling, because everyone's completely writing us off in that game, that they'll be stung by that loss. They'll want to put in a good performance against Liverpool, and they'll want to go into that City game with something. So I don't think we'll win, but I'm going for a draw in that game.
That's like predicting a loss, really, though. Like Robbie, isn't it?
No.
I bet you don't predict draws very often, do you?
No. I actually, you've been doing this thing too long.
10 years, I've never predicted Liverpool to lose. So when I predict a draw, I think Liverpool are going to lose. So I know you're the same.
But in this case, I actually do think it's going to be a draw. I'm not. Okay. This is not my default because I think we're going to lose. This is actually me thinking that I do think it's going to be a draw. Okay. I do. I don't think. And those guys, right, even though the defending is poor, I mean, tell you what it is with our defenders, yeah? With guys like Mustafi and things like that. They can have a game like they did against Tottenham, where they just make unforced errors, ridiculous. And in the next game, they just turn up. And they can be good. And this is the problem this is why they're not good enough, because they're not consistent.
Yes, you're right.
That's why they're good enough to play at a Premier League level, but they're not consistent. So they can have a game where you're like, is that Mustafi? Is that Luis? He played brilliant today. Then another day, and that's their problem. So it wouldn't surprise me at all. They turn up in that game, they put in a deep form at the back, right? And then, if they do that, we've got the players that can hurt you up front. So,
we've been conceding loads of space as well to strikers the last few games, and with Aubameyang, with Pep, with Lacazette. I mean, I tell you what, I was saying this before, Robbie. That goal deserved the fucking crowd, didn't it?
Yeah, I mean,
didn't it? It just deserved the crowd because it just hit the back of the net. It was a bit like, like that place would have just erupted. Like 3/4 of the stadium would have been fuming. Your head would have been going off. It just needed the crowd.
Lacazette. We were saying, what did he do when he at the end of that game? Did he? If it weren't for the fact that Kolasinac is such a big unit, probably would have went over to try and take him out or something. Because after doing that, but 40, 50 seconds later, Kolasinac does what he does. But anyway. I've got to get over it. But I'm going for a draw. I'll go for a draw. What do you guys out there think it's going to be? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget, you can follow the guys, Redmen TV, #1 Liverpool channel. Check them out on their channel. But Arsenal fans, let's pray. Let's hope we can, if we beat them, they might not get this 101,
We won't.
Yeah, I ain't really going on about it now, but I would have a laugh about it. Cheers, Chris.
No problem, mate. Thanks.
Robbie here from AFTV. We just got to say a big thank you to everybody who follows us across our various channels. Over 1 million followers on YouTube. Don't forget, you can now also catch us on Reddit. We're on Reddit, so get involved with us on Reddit and also on TikTok. Keep it AFTV, baby, right here.